So hello everyone, myself Venu, lecturer in mechanical engineering from Government Polytechnic Warangal. And subject dealing is refrigeration and air conditioning. So today video lesson or the topic we are going to discuss on the lithium bromide water absorption refrigeration system. So if you observe in the previous video lesson, I focused on the Electrolux refrigeration system. So it is an application of a vapor absorption refrigeration system. And what the advantage we have seen in the Electrolux refrigeration and compared to the normal system, that is vapor absorption refrigeration system. In that we are used the pumps, and where we have eliminated the pumps in the Electrolux refrigerator. And what are the substances in both the common things in that is some few components are same, and it is a two fluid system. It's a two fluid system. And when coming to the Electrolux refrigerator, it is a three fluid system. Okay. And here next other application for absorption, the vapor absorption refrigeration system, that is a lithium bromide water absorption refrigeration system. So here if you just recall or all the topics, that is a Electrolux refrigerator, and seen some advantages and disadvantages of Electrolux refrigerator, and we have seen some quiz questions and some frequently asked the type of question in this Electrolux refrigerator. Hope you have understood that the previous video class, and the same spirit we will go into the next topic. And regarding the objectives, so here you will be able to know, or you will able to understood after this completion of this period. These are a few of the topics. So here you will understood the principle of working of a lithium bromide water absorption refrigeration system, and the difference between the two fluid and three fluid vapor absorption system. Just we list out all the differences in two columns, that is in two fluid and three fluid vapor absorption system. Two columns will be placed, and differences will be written, and explanation will be taken place. Next we will compare both the systems, that the vapor absorption and vapor compression refrigeration system. And next right, so just look at the diagram here. So this is a lithium bromide water absorption refrigeration system. So here a few modifications is made in this refrigeration system. So that is which is the absorbent here and which is the refrigerant in this system. And we will see all these cases here in the principle. So just look at this line diagram, and look at the components involved in this for getting the refrigeration effect. It's a very simple, just the whatever the connectivity you see, the pipes connectivity, somewhat it may be a difficult way, but the components you observe, see here the same, observe at the top from, you can see there is a generator and a condenser is placed in one shell, and absorber and evaporator is placed in one shell. So there is a pressure reducing wall in between these two, and one is a heat exchanger, and pumps are used here. Okay, pumps are used and spray headers are used. So these are the few components which are involved in this lithium bromide water absorption system. Why the name is given to that, so we will see in this. And coming to the principle, here also the same principle as the vapor absorption refrigeration system, but we little focus how the cooling effect is getting in this system, how the solution is moving from one place to other place. So all the things we will learn, we will see in this system. And we are not using any compressors. Most of the mechanical equipment is eliminated in this system. And coming to the principal part here, just if we first look at these. So whatever the variation we have seen in the previous systems we have used that water as absorbent and other solution like ammonia like that we are used as a refrigerant. But in this system, in this lithium bromide water absorption refrigeration system, water is used as a refrigerant, and the solution means the salt solution named lithium bromide water lithium bromide salt solution is used as absorbent. It's a reverse case in this. How the water temperature is considered in this, at low temperatures, how the low temperatures of that particular water refrigerant is utilized, and how you are getting the cooling effect. So most of application based on, so this lithium bromide water absorption system mostly used for air conditioning purpose. So for conditioning a space or for conditioning a room, like it acts like air conditioner. So nothing more, very low temperatures are required in this system. Normal normal temperatures is sufficient to maintain the room temperature, to maintain uh, some room temperature, just like 18 degrees 18 degrees to 20 degrees like that. So we can maintain the temperature within the that air conditioned room, so no need of any minus centigrades like that. Right, because this is used for application of a that air conditioning, used like air conditioning. So these are the fluids involved in that. So coming to the application, as already discussed, so it is used in air conditioning applications where the evaporator temperature so need not be below 0 degree centigrade. Right, just what I've explained, that no need of any minus centigrades here. Below 0 degree must, it means minus. No need of all those things. Why? Because air conditioner, if you take, generally we have low temperatures, we are keeping like 16 degrees centigrade and up to some like 28 degrees centigrade. So these temperatures are sufficient. So for this application, for air conditioning application, this system can be adoptable. Right, so remember these things, what are the fluids used, and for what application this system is used. This is the first primary thing. Next, right, see just the construction, just so you can read out the points, how just to identify all the components where it is placed. So construction part is very important in this, and the principle, it can be written very easily, and how the working principle taking place, so you can write it very easily if you concentrate on the construction part. So let us focus on the first bottom shell, whatever the rounded shell is there at the bottom. There are components, if you observe, the absorber and evaporator. Okay, absorber and evaporator. So why they are placed in one cylindrical shell, means why they are separated, why the absorber and evaporator are placed in a one single cylinder shell. Why? Because you see, both will operate at the low pressures of the system. So around the 50 mm of Hg, at very low pressures, which is operating at low pressures. Low pressure side components are evaporator and absorber, so they are placed in a one cylindrical shell. And in the same similar case, if you observe at the top, there are other two components like generator and condenser. You know, these are the high pressure side. It means you can see in the generator some high pressure vapors are created. Condenser, condensation is taking place, and it operates at high pressures. Okay, so where the high pressure side components are there, they are placed in a separate shell, again cylindrical shell, which operates at high pressure around 500 mm of Hg, the system. Okay, so both are placed in a separate way. So remember these two things in this. Next, in connectivity to that, we will see the water tubes are placed in the evaporator. So there are water tube, so chilled water tubes are there to circulate cold water required for air conditioning coils. So you can see at the right side of this, at the bottom shell, there is another separate circuit where the chilled water tubes are there, where the water enters into that evaporator coil, and heat exchange will take place, and cold water will come outside, and that it will be sent to the air conditioner. So for the further processing, we will see in the what is happening in the air conditioner. So that cold water or chilled water is sent into the air conditioned coil, where that low temperature is obtained from the evaporator coils. right? This is one circuit. And next, heat exchanger is provided to increase the efficiency of the system. We will see the regarding the working principle, what is happening in the heat exchanger. So you can see at the left side, heat exchanger is provided, right? So coming to the working principle now, how we will start. So again, this first thing what discussed earlier, the cold water required, the output what you are getting here, that is a chilled water from the tubes, from the water tube so which is passing through the evaporator. So here there is a sentence given, cold water required for air conditioning coil, for air conditioning coils is passed through chilled water tubes in evaporator. So whatever the cold water is required for where we have sending to the air conditioned coil, so that water, that low temperature water is getting, when some normal temperature water is sent through the evaporator coils, you are getting chilled water, that water will send to the air conditioning coils. Now, so the low pressure refrigerant water is sprayed on the chilled water tubes. So how it is getting that low temperature means, so on the top of the evaporator coil, if you observe, that is a chilled water tube coil, at the top there is a spray header, so where you are spraying the refrigerant water spray. So low pressure refrigerant water is sprayed on that. Due to that, heat exchange is taking place in between the normal water and the refrigerant water which is spraying on the top of a refrigerant coil. So this is the thing what is happening. And next, this refrigerant water evaporates, whatever the refrigerant water we are spraying, so they again changes its phase from liquid to vaporized form. They get vaporized by absorbing the heat from the water. So water, normal water is sending to the evaporator coil, here they get cooled. How it getting cooled means, the absorbing the heat from the refrigerant water spray, and that refrigerant water spray getting vaporized by giving out its coldness to that, and by absorbing the heat from the normal water which is flowing in the evaporator coil, changing its phase to the vapor. Okay, and now the water which is going in the chilled, the water tube, they get chilled, means they are getting low temperatures. So here the water in the chilled tubes gets cooled, so that it will be sent to the air conditioner component, right? Now what happened here, after the refrigerant sprayed over the evaporator coil, the heat exchange is taking place, and this refrigerant is getting vaporized, nothing but the water vapor, the form is absorbed by strong lithium bromide solution. So here whatever the solution present in the absorber component, that is a strong solution, that is a combination of lithium bromide solution, so which is sprayed in the absorber, component. Now what happens here, the whatever the lithium bromide solution present in the absorber, so it absorbs the water vapor, and produces the low pressure. So in the absorber you have to maintain the low pressure. Now the lithium bromide absorbs water vapor, and it produces the low pressure. Next, the solution becomes weak because of rich in water. So whatever the water vapor is coming here, so it is absorbed by the rich solution of this lithium bromide. So during that case, more the quantity of water is accumulated in the absorber. It means it is becoming the weak solution. The rich solution is becoming weak solution, and it's pumped to the generator component through heat exchanger. So whatever the collected refrigerant, the collected solution is there, that weak solution, that again it will be sent to the generator component, that weak solution. You can see this is a circuit. So with the help of, you can see at the bottom of the absorber, along with the help of a pump. So due to its low pressure, compulsory have to use the pump here to pump the solution, that weak solution, through a heat exchanger and next to the generator component. So you can see bottom circuit of absorber, there is a pump moving through the heat exchanger, next it enters into the generator component, right? Next, so here what happening now, so this weak solution is heated in the generator. and part of the water gets evaporated. So whatever this weak solution is heated in the generator, and part of the water gets evaporated. Okay, now what happens? Right, now the remaining solution becomes more strong, which is passed through heat exchanger and sprayed in absorber. So understood this point. First point is weak solution is heated in the generator. So whatever the weak solution coming from absorber, they get heated in the generator with the help of a heating coils is applied here. Gets heated, heat is supplied to that, so part of the water gets evaporated. Now during this evaporation of the water, see, the remaining solution which is present in the generator will become more strong. So this the strong solution, lithium bromide solution, is passed through the heat exchanger and sprayed in the absorber component. You can see here what we have seen in the last case, that in the absorber here, that whatever that strong solution, lithium bromide solution is there, it will be sprayed in the strong solution is sent into the absorber. That is nothing but it is sprayed in the absorber component. Okay, now what happened here, whatever the water vaporized here, that it enters into the first of all what finally in the absorber, so it absorbs water vapor and becomes weak solution, and again the water vapor is absorbed in the absorber, which is coming from the evaporator component, and that will becomes the weak solution again. And now we will see the further process in the generator, where the water vapor is water is vaporized in the generator component. Now so cooling water is pumped through a whatever the, see here, to create the low pressures here, must and should you have to maintain the low temperatures in the generator component. Right, to create the low pressures, so as in the absorber component, the cooling water pond is provided separately, so along with a small pump is provided. So through one circuit it will passes through the absorber. So the cooling water, by taking some heat, so it will be come outside through the absorber and send into the next component, that is to the condenser component. Okay, the cooling water circuit, it means it acts like a cooling medium in the absorber as well as in the condenser component. So a separate circuit is provided for a cooling water circuit in the absorber as well as in the condenser component. Just like what you have seen, it enters into the condenser and returns to cooling water pond, and again another circuit is made at the exit. It comes and collect in the cooling water pond. So refrigerant vapors formed in the generator, so whatever the water vapors, whatever the refrigerant vapors are there, it is formed in the generator or passed to the condenser. So whatever the we have heated, that water gets evaporated here. It means they are the refrigerant vapors, so which are formed in the generator, uh, are passed to the condenser, where they are cooled and condensed here. How they are cooled means, there is a, what earlier discussed, the circuit is coming from the cooling water pond along with the pump. It is pumped through the absorber, the next it sends into the condenser. So here the heat exchange will take place, and again they are condensing back to the liquid form. It is collected at the container of a condenser here at the bottom. Okay, and get condensed. Now what happening here, whatever the collected refrigerant or whatever the collected liquid is there in the condenser, can see through the condenser there is a circuit line provided at the bottom. It mean connecting to the pressure reducing valve, or to the expansion valve. So refrigerant water passes through expansion device, is supplied at low pressure to the evaporator. So you know about the functioning of the pressure reducing valve. What happening here, here just you can see here, due to whatever the liquid present in the condenser, it is having very high pressures. So to reduce the pressures, alternately what happens, the temperature will get decreases. So it means uh, whatever the here it is through expansion. Whenever it is supplied through the expansion device, it supplied it creates the low pressures. That low pressure refrigerant water then passes to the evaporator here for further processing. Now the low pressure water is sprayed onto the chilled water tubes. So you can observe the connection here. So at the top of a evaporator tubing, you can see there is a refrigerant water spray headers are provided here, where that low pressure refrigerant water spray, the spray along through the headers, it will spray on the evaporator coil. So in the evaporator coil, if you observe, there is a one connection is provided where the normal water with some normal temperature or high temperature, it enters into the evaporator, and due to the heat exchange taking place between the normal water and the refrigerant water liquid. So here the heat exchange will take place, and the chilled water will enters through the at the exit. You will get the chilled water tubes. Now whatever the refrigerant is sprayed here, that liquid will converting into the it is extracting heat from the evaporator and converting back to the vapor form. Means again it is forming like a refrigerant water vapor. So this refrigerant water vapor, it is absorbed by the solution, whatever the solution is there, which is present in the absorber, that is absorbed the water vapor, where it getting vaporized in the evaporator component. That is, evaporation is taking place here. Now further what happen, again the absorber is absorbing the water vapor and it is becoming the weak solution, and again the same thing is happening here. The cycle will repeats again and again here. Now I think hope you have understood the importance of this heat exchanger, how it is making more efficient and more economical if you use the heat exchanger. If you observe this weak solution circuit and strong solution circuit, so one is the strong solution circuit is a very hot one, and the weak solution circuit coming from the absorber is a cooled one. So due heat exchange will take place. The strong solution primarily in the heat exchanger getting cooled, and in the same heat exchanger the weak solution which is sending into the generator, so primarily it is heated in the heat exchanger by exchanging the heat between the strong solution and weak solution. So this is how the cost of the cooling system is reduced and cost of the heating system is reduced. Further it is made more economical. So this is regarding how you are getting the cooling effect by using this, the lithium bromide and water vapor absorption system. So water is a refrigerant here, lithium bromide salt solution is an absorbent here. Now so just have a look regarding these advantages. No fear of busting or toxication, since the entire system works at pressure below atmospheric. Okay, so vaporized form of the water, okay, so these are the advantages. You can read the statements. So since it is made with the very at it means operated at very low atmospheric pressures, at very below the atmospheric pressures, so no fear of busting at a time, and the chances are very less, and toxication is also not there in this. And why? Because it is a simple salt solution and water, and no need of the toxication problem. So energy required for very small pumps are used, and due to some low pressure differentials, it means the pressure variations are very small in this case, and energy requirement for pumping is also low. Now no analyzer or rectifier is needed here. So right, no analyzer or rectifier is needed because absorbent is non-volatile and does not mix with the water. It's a non-volatile and does not mix with the water. So this by the need of analyzer and rectifier already we have seen in the video classes. It means it will remove the moisture content of water. So here what is it's a reverse case. Completely we are using the water as a refrigerant here. So what happening in the evaporator, they are not making any contact between the whatever the other the water which is coming from the tubes, it is not making contact with the refrigerant liquid. It means the water refrigerant is not making direct contact with that, so no mixing of anything is taking place here. And low generator heating, so 40 to 45 degrees, so solar heating can be employed here. Now the water being refrigerant operating at low pressures, system can create temperatures up to 5 degrees centigrade. Very low pressures, the water we are using as a refrigerant, so very low temperatures, not up to 5 degrees centigrade, so it is feasible and it is enough. So this is creating the temperature at these cases, so it is suitable for air conditioning, taking in any losses during this transport of this cold water up to the air conditioning unit. Some more the temperature may be increased, some from 5 degrees to some 8 degrees or 10 degrees, but it is suitable for air conditioning purpose. Look at the disadvantages. It is very poor COP, coefficient of performance is, so approximately about 0.7 it's given, and COP is less, so suitable only where evaporator temperature is above 0 degree centigrade only, so it is used for a particular purpose. So quite there is a disadvantage. It means when there is a need of above 0 degree centigrade for higher temperature applications only, this system is used, and it becomes corrosive. So whatever the solution is there, this lithium bromide water solution corrosive when it reaches 120 degrees centigrade. So generator condenser material should be non-corrosive. So at some cases they may get, there is a chance of higher temperatures. During that case, so you must and should maintain the material, constructive material for generator and condenser should be non-corrosive, right? Okay, so hope you understood this system, refrigeration system, lithium bromide water absorption system, how the cooling effect you are getting, and what are the advantages of that system, what are the disadvantages of the system, what is the application of this system, what are the fluids used in that system. So all these cases we have observed in this lithium bromide water absorption system. Okay, and hope you understood that. Next, coming to the other topic, so we list out all the points regarding the two fluid system and three fluid system, where we can find the differences between them by comparing the same factor in between these two. First we'll see the two fluid system and three fluid system. Next, that is the first point is, as the topic itself gives that in the two fluid system we are using the two fluids. If you take a simple vapor absorption system and Electrolux refrigerator, just to compare like that, the first one is two fluids we are using, refrigerant and absorbent. In the three fluid system we are using one is a refrigerant, absorbent, and third one is a like a pumping agent, just like a hydrogen we have seen the Electrolux refrigerator, right? And next, same second case in this two fluid system is second point, ammonia is refrigerant and water is absorbent. Is already discussed that. You can take the same opposite case of that, extra we are adding to that hydrogen as inert gas, and ammonia is refrigerant and water is absorbent here. So no pumping pump is used in this, right? So that is we can take it as a third point. So system consists of pumps and valves in two fluid system. There is a pump and valves are provided, whereas it is free from the moving parts. No pump is used in the three fluid system. So since it is free from the moving parts and it is a completely silent unit. Next, the cost of the pump is more. We are using the pumps in this system, so cost automatically increases. So here the hydrogen is available at low cost, so pump is replacing that with the help of hydrogen, where hydrogen acts like a pumping agent. So cost compared to the two fluid system, so three fluid system is better. And next, other point is the pressure is not balanced in the two fluid system because the using of the pumps, so they may be operate at some high pressures. With the help of the pump we are pumping with high pressures, and in some component pressure is increased, so pressure is not balanced here. Sometimes it will pump with the low pressures like that. Whereas if you see in three fluid systems, so pressure is well balanced and no need of any valves here. It means the expansion valve like that, no need of any expansion valve in the Electrolux refrigerator. So pressure is well balanced here. So first of all, the system is charged to some pressure, and it can maintain the same pressure throughout the system, right? Next, other things, the expansion valve reduces the pressure. So here in three fluid system, how the pressure drop is taking place, that is with the help of a that agent, what is hydrogen. Pressure drops taken place due to the presence of hydrogen. Whereas in the two fluid system, the maintenance cost is high, because you have to look at every time the operating of the pump and the operating of the valves. So the cost automatically it increases. Whereas in three fluid system, the maintenance cost is low. Must and maintenance cost here is low due to the absence of all these things, the valves, expansion valve, and this pump. So like that. And to take the example, the two fluid system, so you can consider a lithium bromide vapor absorption system is a two fluid system, right? Like a water as refrigerant, lithium bromide solution as absorbent. Whereas in, you can take three fluid system example as Electrolux. So already we have discussed Electrolux refrigerator is the common example for three fluid system. So this is regarding the comparisons between two fluid and three fluid systems. So hope you have understood the differences between the points what you have discussed regarding two fluid and three fluid system. Okay, the next we move on to the other very important topics. So all these three are very important topics. Is what are the first, the system what we are seeing, that the next the comparison between the two fluid and three fluid, and next the comparison between the VCR and VAR systems. Okay, we will same the thing again, we make the comparison point by point, right? A lot of points can be noted in this. Just the first for most important, what we are doing, the main thing what we are replacing in the VCR and VAR systems. The first one is VCR system consisting of the compressor, and noise is provided in this VCR system. Whereas the vapor absorption system, minimum moving parts, it will just like a pump, small pumps can be used. So compared to the VCR system, the noise produced is less, right? The high grade mechanical energy is supplied, and the low grade heat energy is supplied here. Okay, low grade heat energy is supplied. It means using of a compressor, how whatever the mechanical energy is developed in this the compressor, it is supplied is high. It means in the form of a high grade. Whereas the low grade heat energy is supplied here. So just a little amount of heat can be added, it is supplied with the help of the low grade heat. So it is a it is sufficient for the in a vapor absorption system. So we can supply low grade heat energy, right? So energy supplied is low. So 1 by 2, half to 1/3 of refrigerating effect. So whatever the cooling effect is there, so whatever the energy input you are getting, that is half of that or 1/3 of that refrigerating effect. So energy supplied in the VR system is more 1.5 times of refrigerating effect. So whatever the heat energy you are supplying, so that is more compared to the cooling effect you are getting in the evaporator component, or in what the evaporator or cold chamber. It is a 1.5 times greater. Next, you see the comparison. So can't be used where mechanical energy or electrical energy is not available, since it is a working along the compressor along with some electrical connections. So compulsory there is a need of some electricity. The compressor has to work, so it must and should require this energy, electrical energy. So whereas here even it can be used in the remote areas. What I have seen, that small little amount of heat energy is required for that. Means the kerosene lamp is available, so we can start burning in the generator. That heat energy is supplied to the generator, so the system can be run there. And it means here you can in this first point you can take example of the Electrolux refrigerator. Here you can completely eliminate the total pump also, so no need of any electricity. Right. Coming to the next point of VCR system, the charging refrigerant is simple. Charging refrigerant is simple, whereas in the vapor absorption refrigeration system, a charging refrigerant is difficult. Okay. The whatever the process is there for charging the refrigerant, it's a very simple case and easier in the VCR system, whereas in the vapor absorption it may be a difficult case. And, where if you observe this VCR system, a lot of number of what are the some skilled persons are there, where they can charge the system by using some equipment very simply, whereas in VR systems the system is very difficult to maintain, and charging the refrigerant skilled persons cannot be available at readily. Right. Now VCR system, the chances of leakage is more. Why? Because due to the vibration of the components, the mechanical the compressors are present, chances of leakages is more, whereas there is a very less chances or no chance of leakage is there in the vapor absorption refrigeration system. Right. Next, here in VCR system the performance is affected by load variation. Means load in the sense what are the things we are placing in the evaporator component, so it will affect the performance of the total system. Whereas in the vapor absorption refrigeration system, performance is not affected by the load changes. Okay. And next, maintenance cost is very high in the VCR system, whereas maintenance cost is very low in the vapor absorption system. Why? Because mechanical components, some electrical maintenance cost, all the things should be taken place in the VCR system, whereas in vapor absorption system there is only if you take a simple vapor absorption system, only the pump is there, so we can maintain the low cost of that. Or if you maintain the pump, a small maintenance cost will be there in the vapor absorption refrigeration system. Right. Right. So this is regarding the vapor absorption and vapor compression refrigeration system comparisons. If you see the Electrolux just we will see some quiz part of that. Electrolux refrigerator, water is used as, you already explained that is a 3 fluid system. So in that we are using the water as absorbent, ammonia as refrigerant. So what is the answer here? Water is used as absorbent in the Electrolux refrigerator. Right. The next, the cost of 3 fluid system with compared to 2 fluid system. So cost of 3 fluid system, it is more or high compared to the 2 fluid system. So what is the answer? We will see that here. So these are the options: less, more, or equal. The cost of the 3 fluid system is less. So don't consider there are 3 fluids here, so the cost will be more. Okay, don't compare like that. Why? Because here 3 fluid system we are using by eliminating a pump, where we are using the pump in the 2 fluid system. So pump is eliminated in 3 fluid system. The cost may get reduces here. Right. So less. Next, in lithium bromide water absorption system, water is used as, here this thing is very important. All we will keep as a water as absorbent, but the answer is it is a refrigerant. Okay. Right. Next question, in lithium bromide water absorption system, the dash and dash are placed in one cylindrical shell. So here they may give the combination, the absorber and evaporator. So though both are low pressure systems, right? So they can be placed in one cylindrical shell. Here you got the answer directly. Condenser and evaporator they will not place. Why? Because condenser is high pressure side, evaporator at low pressure side. That's wrong. Generator and evaporator is also wrong. Generator is also at high pressure side, evaporator at low pressure side. So none of the answer is in the first one, that is at low pressure side, absorber and evaporator components are placed in one cylindrical shell. Okay, so this is regarding the few quiz questions. So you can answer them very easily if you listen this video class clearly, and hope you have understood all the things. Just to be summarize what you have discussed from the starting of the video class. You have seen the construction part, what are the components involved in lithium bromide water absorption system, and what is the working principle taking place to get the refrigeration effect. All the things we have learned in that. And next we have concentrated on the what are the advantages taken place and what are the disadvantages of using this lithium bromide water absorption refrigeration system. Okay, and we have ended the topic up to that part, and next we are seeing the comparisons between the two fluid system and three fluid system. So we have understood that the two fluid and three fluid system comparisons, taking the examples of both the lithium bromide water absorption system and electrolux refrigeration system, and compared the some points regarding that. Next we are seeing the comparison between the VCR system and vapor absorption system. Okay, right. So these are the few frequently asked questions. So explain the working principle of lithium bromide water absorption system within its case. So whatever the diagram we have seen, so you can draw that, and you can explain further the construction and working principle of the lithium bromide water absorption system. Right. So state the advantages and limitations of lithium bromide water absorption refrigerant. So this is another question. And other question, compared between two fluid and three fluid vapor absorption system, and compare VCR and VAR systems. So four important questions will be there. They are asking frequently in the examinations. So you can follow these questions. So this video lesson is very helpful for you to get all the answers of these four questions from this video lesson. Okay, right. So thank you very much for watching this video session, and hope you have understood the topic what you have discussed today. And so more concentrate on the next video classes. Next we are going to discuss the other topic regarding a fresh topic. So hope you have understood for today up to till today's class.